Hey everybody, and welcome to the Florida Today and USA Today Network's live stream show of the United Launch Alliance Delta IV Heavy launch we have in
like about half an hour. 24 minutes. You are
changing the launch time.
I am Space Reporter Rachel Joy. It's early.
That's right, and I'm Antonia Jaramillo. And,
Oh yeah, we'll have to mute that.
And I'm sorry, Mr. Kelly. Did you say there was a new launch time?
They're investigating a new launch time.
Oh, whoa. Late breaking just happened. They're investigating a new launch time. So let's just say that launch was 2:04 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
But now we might be getting a little bit of a push.
That's right, and we have until 6:25 a.m.
6:25 a.m. is the window?
Yep.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Although this launch has pushed so many times that actually I don't know if it's still 6:25 a.m. It could be. It's definitely at least a 4-hour launch window.
Yeah. It's somewhere in there.
But this is still an exciting launch. I mean, this is a heavy. So there's apparently like on all the viewing spots, there are cars like lined up, people outside to watch a 2 a.m. launch. I mean, I wouldn't have.
I know.
Maybe I would have.
When I was driving over, 528, people were already starting to line up.
That's
it wasn't
crazy.
fully full yet, but it was happening.
And we got here at 11:30 p.m.
I know.
So people have been out there for like 3 hours.
Yeah. And, the reason why is because Delta Heavies don't go up that often.
They don't. The last one was over 2 years ago, and that was also another very big mission. It was for NASA's Parker Solar Probe, which is the spacecraft that's right now studying the sun. It's actually going to be, it's the spacecraft that's the closest it's ever been to the sun. So yeah, I mean, Delta Heavies just in the past have always been these big launches.
Right, because obviously they're only going to pull out the big guns for big payloads.
Yeah.
And so that's what this is all about. So the Delta Heavy has 2.1 million pounds of thrust. It's using all 3 of those boosters, and it's really getting stuff up there.
Oh, yeah.
Very powerful, very loud, very fun rocket when it takes off.
Yeah, and this, I mean, we don't really know what it's actually taking, though, tonight.
That's right.
We're not allowed to know.
This is a mission for the National Reconnaissance Office. So basically, it's some cool secret spy stuff.
Yeah.
We just don't know what exactly. They really just released pretty much no information about it.
None whatsoever.
Yeah. So we don't have a whole bunch we can say about the actual payload or the satellite.
Other than we can't say anything.
We can't say anything. But we are excited that you're here with us. It's so super early in the morning. So this is kind of an experiment, too, for us. We're kind of seeing, like, are people up? Are they not up? Maybe more international folks are watching, tonight, this morning.
So please say hi from wherever you guys are. That would be nice.
We are here with Emery Kelly, who is right over there. And we're also experimenting with trying to figure out how to pull him into the show more, but we've got to work out the audio on that. So he is monitoring.
But fortunately, we're going to be able to practice that a lot this weekend because this is a busy weekend.
Out of nowhere, it's big time. We got a twofer on Sunday.
Yeah. I don't think that's happened since the 60s.
Right. So only just hours ago, SpaceX announced that they're going to attempt to do 2 launches on Sunday. So Sunday morning, we've got that Starlink launch.
From Kennedy Space Center, pad 39A, and then only 9 hours after that, there's another launch from Cape Canaveral Air Force Station, Launch Complex 40, and that's the launch that you definitely want to tune into, right?
This is the historic Argentinian satellite. What makes it historic, though, is that it's going to be a polar orbit. So that's something that hasn't happened from Cape Canaveral in decades, since the 60s.
Yeah.
So,
and like to explain like what polar orbit is, I mean, the people
basically it's orbiting the poles. So it's just like it sounds. It's orbiting the north and south poles, and that's really good for weather satellites and Earth observation satellites.
But when this launches, what's going to be cool about it when it launches compared to others?
So it's going to be traveling south down the coast of Florida. So a lot of people don't usually see the launches are going to see it. Typically from here, we've got launches that are going east, over the ocean, or maybe kind of north. But this is going south. That is, we never see that.
At least not since the 1960s.
That's right. So it's going to go south all the way down the coast of Florida, and then it's actually going to go totally over Cuba. And that's part of the sort of dangerousness because, you know, we don't really like rockets going over land like that, over populated land.
Yeah.
But it's going to be at a safe altitude, and they're telling us that everything is going to be fine, everything's going to be safe, just in case anything happens. All Cubans are going to be fine.
That's good. Good job. And what's really cool also then for the people here on the Space Coast is that 8 minutes after liftoff, we're finally going to get to hear some sonic booms.
Yes, which we haven't seen in 6 months.
I know. Yeah, SpaceX has been landing all of its first stage boosters on the drone ship stationed in the Atlantic Ocean. So everyone here on the Space Coast hasn't heard those sonic booms in about 6 months, which was the last booster landing here on land. But that's all going to change this Sunday.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a launch you don't want to miss. I mean, you don't want to miss either. But for tonight, it is ULA's Delta Heavy rocket at, right now, we still think 2:04 a.m., but we're hearing it might get pushed into the window. What are you hearing, Enrique Lee? It's gonna push.
But we don't know by how much. So this launch actually was originally on
It was supposed to be
Wednesday morning.
And then they decided to push to Thursday morning because of the customer request.
Right.
And then we got here Thursday morning and they scrubbed.
Right.
And so then they were saying Friday morning, and then midday Thursday they were like, nah, we're doing Saturday
morning.
And so now here we are.
That's right. So here we are Saturday morning, hopeful that it's going to go, but
Saturday morning, but it's like the middle of the night.
Right. For us, it feels very much like the middle of the night.
It is the middle of the night.
It's the middle of the night. It's the middle of the night. We're doing our best to be coherent.
Yeah. Yeah, Rachel ran out of her coffee.
Oh, my Lord.
It's been a struggle.
There's like one sip in here. That's all that's left.
Treasure it.
ULA, send coffee.
I can make that a banner.
Do it.
ULA, send coffee. If you're gonna do these launches at 2 a.m., send coffee out to the space reporters.
Agreed. I mean, granted, we're probably the only space reporters out here on the press site.
Well, we are.
All the other space reporters, like especially at least photographers, they're at the causeway.
Right, getting the shots.
Yeah, getting that. It's going to be an awesome streak shot. That's another cool thing about the Delta Heavy. I mean, aside from the fact that it's a heavy, it's a rocket, it's also launching at night. And night launches are amazing, especially if you're seeing them over the water. Just the way it reflects over the water or the river, like the ocean, the river, wherever you're watching it from is going to be awesome. And because this is such a powerful launch, it could potentially be a little bit brighter. At least it will definitely be loud.
It's gonna be loud.
Yeah. Very loud.
I'll stand by at my work steps until -14 minutes.
So they're extending until they can resolve the technical problem. So TBD.
TBD still.
Yeah, we're
So
in T4 with
they're working on a technical problem. That what you hear in the background is what's called the countdown nets. But basically, it's the communication that's happening between the mission, launch control, all those folks.
That's right.
And so we are able to listen to that and hear what they're doing and give you those updates.
And right now, basically, they're holding liftoff until
this technical issue can be resolved.
Exactly. So we don't know when the new liftoff
Let's
time
look
is.
real quick if on the live updates they have said anything.
Oh wow, you went really down. Just says countdown holding.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys have coffee wherever you are and can stay up with us, right?
Yeah.
We might not, but
Let's see on here then. Is anybody even awake?
people are watching us, but I can't see any comments right now.
Okay.
Maybe you want to hit refresh.
Okay.
Again, we are here covering ULA's Delta Heavy launch. Right now they had a planned liftoff at 2:04 a.m., but they're actually holding that liftoff to resolve a technical issue. We don't know what that new liftoff time is, but hopefully we'll know shortly.
Here,
and
we
can
have
tell you.
comments.
Oh, awesome.
Read the comments, Tony.
Okay. So,
I can pull the comments in here.
yeah.
Which one?
All
well,
of them.
Well,
All of them.
no, he can't do all of them all at once. We've got a lot of, okay.
Hey, there's a lot of people watching from Florida.
Yeah.
Way to
Rockledge,
stay up with us, you
Jupiter,
guys.
Palm Bay, Melbourne.
My kind of launch, late night boom. Let's go from Spring Hill, Florida. You know, I've never been to Spring Hill.
I haven't either.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Watching from West Melbourne. Hey, I live near West Melbourne.
You do. We have a lot of Floridians.
That's
that are
awesome.
up. I'm actually shocked, you guys. What's up with you? That's good. It's because
No, I'm
it's a
very
really
happy.
cool launch. Yeah.
My boyfriend's watching the launch. So,
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
he's been like texting. He's like, is it still on?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
Well, he's got the inside scoop to the space reporter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good, everybody. Thanks for joining us. So as we just said, we are in a little technical hold at the moment. So 2:04 a.m. was the launch time, but we're waiting to see what they're going to push to. It's a 4-hour window, so we might be here a while. But let's not think about that.
You know what, though? Bright side. If it pushes all the way into the 4-hour window, that's like right at dawn. And that would be pretty nice.
That would be a very cool launch.
That would be a very, very pretty launch.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're just joining us, this is United Launch Alliance's Delta IV Heavy. The Heavy is the largest in the Delta fleet, most powerful, 2.1 million pounds of thrust, and it is sending up a payload for the National Reconnaissance Office, which means it's basically just some super mega top secret stuff.
Yeah. You know, you mentioned an interesting fact. I mean, not only is the Delta IV Heavy, the heaviest or the most powerful of the Delta fleet, it's now also the only Delta rocket launching.
Oh,
Because
the single
remember,
stick is right.
yeah, the
done.
single stick, which was then just one little Delta IV rocket, its last launch was a year ago, actually. And so now there's only Delta Heavy.
Yeah.
But there's only supposed to be 5 of those, including tonight's launch. So 3 more from the Cape and then 2 from California.
Yeah.
So it's time, it's numbers. What's the saying?
Its time is running out. Its
No,
numbers are
it's-
limited.
Its no,
days are limited.
it's-
Its days
isn't
are
it-
numbered.
its days are numbered. There we go.
Woo!
Yeah.
Its days are numbered.
Yeah. That's, we just took an ominous term. It's okay, Delta Heavy. But the
Yeah.
whole point is Delta Heavy is going to pave way. Once we say bye-bye, it's going to pave way then for ULA's new rocket, which
The
is
Vulcan.
Vulcan. That just sounds like,
It does. It sounds hardcore.
yeah, a little bit.
It sounds hardcore. It's going to be hardcore.
Well, we hope.
This will be the 19th launch this year.
That is correct. And by the time the weekend is over, by the time this month is over, we might have 21 launches.
I know. So this potentially is a very busy weekend for launches. Just hours ago, SpaceX announced that they were going to attempt to do a launch Sunday morning. So that's only, how many hours is that? 32?
That's like 41 hours. Wait, are you talking about?
The Sunday morning launch.
Oh, the Sunday morning. That's,
If this goes
that's
soon,
32 hours.
Yeah.
Well, now it could even be less.
Right.
Since,
So Sunday morning, they're going to do another batch of Starlink satellites. And then only 9 hours later, the Argentinian satellite SAOCOM, SAOCOM, is what that's called.
for the Argentinian Space Agency. It's an Earth observation satellite.
Yeah.
That's then supposed to lift off. Basically 3 launches within 48 hours.
Crazy. I've never seen that.
I've never seen that either. Neither has Marie Kelly.
Yeah. I don't know when that would have even been.
3 launches within 48 hours? I don't know. But like we were talking about earlier, the last time, well, I don't know if it was the last time, but definitely one of the times that they did launch kind of very back-to-back, even super close, was during the Gemini
Oh, right.
program.
Right.
When they were launching them.
Hours.
Exactly, because they
Right.
had to also launch the Agena, which was basically they send the little astronauts up. They also send the Agena rocket, and they had to then do the rendezvous and meet with it. So that it's all in preparations for the moon landing to
Right.
be able to then separate the command module
Yes.
with the
So
lunar
it's
lander.
totally possible. And certainly the 45th Space Wing, that's their goal, is to be able to knock it out.
Yeah. Do you remember how many launches they wanted to do this year?
Well, they had their drive to 48.
That's been going on for a
Right,
while.
and that's sort of been their goal, is to do 48 launches in a year.
Right.
But obviously they can only launch when there's customers.
That,
So-
but also they do have their own private missions that they don't tell us. So they could have had actually more launches
True,
this year
true.
that we know
Ooh,
about.
there's that pretty rocket.
Yeah, so there you go. So that's what makes it Delta Heavy. It's those two separate little side boosters next to the big one rocket in the middle.
Mhm.
And it's cool. I always compare like the Delta 4 Heavy or the Delta 4 rocket. I always kind of compare it to like a candy corn colored rocket.
It is. Yeah, it's like a Halloween rocket.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I wore orange.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. I love it when we color code to the rocket.
Yeah, we look fall, and it's like it's still summer, but everyone's
Well,
in fall mood already.
We're only days away from Labor Day and September, which is sort
Yeah,
of
but
the
it's
big-
end of September that's
Yeah.
considered fall. Hey, Emery, do you know why there's like the symbol of the wolf?
That's just the mission mascot, if you will.
The mission mascot for the
NROL-44.
Oh, just for them this one mission.
Right.
Got you. And do you know why they chose a wolf?
They choose a lot of different animals for the different missions. They've had like a gecko before.
A gecko. I think the wolf is cooler. What do you think, Chica? Have they ever had a shark?
I don't know.
Ah,
Maybe.
I want a shark as the mission mascot.
Okay, we've got folks watching from New Jersey.
Okay, so still a lot here from the East Coast.
Yeah, Jupiter Beach, Melbourne Beach, Miami.
Nice. Putting on my NASA sneakers,
Oh.
that's cute.
That's my friend Lolly. Lolly, show us your NASA sneakers. I want to see a picture of that. I went to high school with Lolly, so that's awesome.
There's some people asking what time the launch is. So actually right now we don't know. The original liftoff time was at 2:04 a.m., but they're right now going through trying to solve some technical problems, so we're in a hold. We do have, it is a 4-hour launch window though, so we have some time. And as you can see in our little banner below, we are asking ULA to send us coffee. That is true. But
Except
weather
for-
is great right now.
The weather is 90% go.
Exactly. Before it was 80, so it's
Yeah.
improved. So weather is not an issue.
Nope, weather's definitely not an issue.
So I'm sure the weather squadron is super stoked about that.
Yep.
But it's the rockets the issue.
Yep.
And that was the issue on Thursday when they were supposed to launch originally. They also suffered technical issues and then they had to scrub.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of some technical problems throughout the week.
Yeah, and I
Mhm.
mean, maybe because they don't launch this rocket that much.
Right.
That's why it can also little problems come up. What are you looking at?
I'm just looking at the mission overview that is provided to us by ULA. Looking at some of the fun little facts about this mission.
Okay.
It's gonna-
Any fun little facts?
That's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Love it. Have we heard anything, Mr. Kelly?
Nope.
Nothing.
Oh, this is only the 12th, going back to what you were saying before. So this is only the 12th in the heavy configuration. So, yeah, not very many.
And
12
then we have
launch.
5 more.
Yeah.
Wow.
So 41 launches of the Delta IV rocket, and this is only the 12th of the heavy configuration. And the 5 more, what were they telling us? It's 3 more
from the Cape
and 2 from Vandenberg.
California.
Yeah, those will be the final 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, then I'm really happy we're going to be able to see this. Maybe. Hopefully we can see this. At one point we'll be able to see this.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't launch tonight. But, or this morning. But yeah, definitely rare. So it's great that there are people up, out, and trying to watch this
Mhm.
launch because it's rare.
Mm-hmm.
Have you? Did you see one? Have you seen
See,
the Delta?
you asked me those kinds of questions, and it's hard for me to answer because I don't really.
Have good memory.
There's that. But I don't really pay attention. Like I've seen so many rocket launches is the problem. So it's sort of like it's a little bit of a blur is what I'm trying to say. I don't necessarily
Got you.
Do you
You
know
don't
what I
need to
mean?
brag. We got it.
It's not a brag.
I've seen so many
I
rocket
can't.
launches,
It's
you
like-
guys. It's a blur at this point,
I don't know.
honestly. Did we even send humans on a SpaceX capsule? Like, it's all such a blur.
No. I remember that. I
Yeah.
will never forget that.
That was a good one.
Absolutely
sure.
not.
All right, well, maybe then, should we go then to the live feed of ULA and hear then what they're saying, Mr. Kelly?
I don't think they're saying anything right now, but
Okay.
we'll switch over.
All right.
The
We will
team is
find
still working through the temperature issue I mentioned earlier, and we'll get back to you with a new T0 as soon as we have one. As I mentioned earlier, today's launch is ULA's 29th.
What's going on? Oh, okay.
Hey, everybody. So we are still waiting to find out about this new launch time. It was 2:04 a.m. We're passing that right now.
Yeah,
So-
bye.
But by 2:04 a.m. We have a 4-hour launch window, so who knows? But we are hopeful that it will be soon. So tonight, this morning, whatever you're feeling like you want to call it, we are standing by for the United Launch Alliance launch of the National Reconnaissance Office payload. We don't know exactly what it is, some
That's
sort of
right.
top secret satellite of some kind.
Super secret.
And this is on the Delta IV Heavy.
Yeah, that's right. Very massive, big, powerful
Largest
rocket.
rocket of the fleet, 2.1 million pounds of thrust. And we've got people watching from all over. Tons of people on the Space Coast are up and watching.
Yeah. I mean, you know how you mentioned that you were like, oh, I hope this like launches soon. Us, obviously, but I think the people outside who are dealing with all the mosquitoes and everything,
Yeah.
they must definitely want
we've
this
got,
baby to launch.
Paul just said, if you're all curious, the mosquitoes out here on the causeway are vicious. I believe it. We've been out there before on the causeway.
Yeah, it's not
covered
fun.
head to toe. Because,
It's really bad.
ooh,
Yeah, my legs were not a pretty sight after.
it is admittedly very nice here in our air-conditioned blockhouse here at the Kennedy Space Center press site.
Why you got to do this to Paul?
I'm sorry,
Chica.
Paul.
They don't need to know that.
I know, it's just really...
Paul, it's also miserable. No, I'm just kidding.
We don't have coffee, Paul, and you probably do.
I hope you do, or at least a Red Bull.
Or a snack. Something.
Yeah.
We're not very good at that.
Emery needs more Red Bull.
Yep, technical hold right now. Lance is saying, yep, that's right,
Mm-hmm.
until 6:25.
I think what's most concerning is that sometimes when they hold, they do announce a new liftoff time pretty quickly, but we haven't known for about 20 minutes.
I know. So that's the thing that's a little curious. Oh, my friend Lolly is texting me photos of her NASA sneakers.
That's good. That's great.
He.
But this is, yeah, like Rachel was saying, okay.
Why not? Can they see that? Look at
I-
that. Have you ever seen NASA sneakers?
Yes.
Oh,
Sorry, that was way more aggressive than it needed to be.
I feel like you're somebody who would wear NASA sneakers.
No.
No?
I'm a reporter. I have to be
That's right.
objective.
Sorry, I'm biased.
Mhm.
Yeah. So everybody, we are patiently waiting for a new launch time.
Yeah, and we hope you're patiently waiting with us. I get it. You want to go to sleep, but you can't.
Not yet.
No.
This
So
will be
stay up.
only the 12th launch of the Delta IV Heavy. So they don't do that this often.
No, and the launches that they do have are either for like NASA science missions or for like top secret, classified,
Yeah.
military satellites.
Mm-hmm.
So they only bring this guy out to show off the big guns.
No, not to show off. When they're getting, I assume that means it's a pretty heavy duty payload, obviously.
Brian
We
said
don't
he's
have-
going to sleep. Bye,
Oh,
Brian.
are we losing somebody already?
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye, Brian. Well, here's the thing, Brian. I just want to warn you. You can try to go to sleep, but if this thing takes off, it's going to wake you up. So put in
Unless
some major earplugs.
Brian isn't here on the Space Coast.
Potentially.
Brian could be anywhere.
He could be. But if he's here, it's going to wake you up. And
Unless he's a heavy sleeper.
Penny says she can wait, no problem.
Nice. Way to go, Penny.
That's right. Be strong. Brian couldn't make it.
Oh my God. Poor Brian. It's okay.
We're going to make it.
I am watching from Orlando.
Oh, yeah.
Brian said, Brian, stay with us.
Well, then it probably won't wake him up because it's not that loud in Orlando. I mean, here is where it's going to be so loud.
No, for sure, for sure. I was just thinking, yeah, do you even hear it from Orlando? I don't know. We don't know. But any new developments, Mr. Kelly?
Nope.
Okay.
Still in the 4-minute hold.
You know what is actually really cool for those who are watching it here in person? I don't know if you guys brought out your camera, but this would be a great time to test out and take an awesome streak shot of liftoff. Those are always, I think, those are my favorite launch photos. The night launch photos where you can see that beautiful streak and that arc and everything.
So just a long exposure photo, basically? Or?
Yeah, I would. Emery, what would you say? How do you take a proper streak shot photo? How do you need to set up your camera?
Point it at the pad,
Okay,
and you want to probably do like a 2 or 3 minute exposure.
Yeah, so it's a long exposure.
Yeah.
for 2 to 3 minutes.
With a
What kind
With
of
a
aperture?
tripod?
oh, you have to.
You need
have
a
to have
tripod.
You can't hold it still for that long.
Maybe they don't know that.
Right, right.
Yeah, pointing it at the pad. Yeah, you want to point it at the rocket. If not, then
Do we know what the technical issue is?
no, we don't.
Yes,
Not
we
yet.
do.
Oh,
Yes,
what
we
is
do.
it?
It's an out of limits temperature reading.
Out of limits temperature reading, but what does that mean specifically? What temperature issue?
In one of the rocket's compartments, the temperature is off for
Okay.
some reason.
So in one of the rocket compartments, the temperature is off for some reason. So, and a couple of days ago when we had that problem, what was it? That was a pneumatics issue at the pad though, right? Okay. So this is a totally separate issue. It's not the same. So temperature problem within a rocket compartment.
We're up and watching from India Atlantic.
Watching from Delaware, Cocoa,
Nice, Maria.
Palm Bay.
I like that. And we thought we weren't gonna get that many local people watching
No,
us.
I didn't. I thought this was going to be all of our international audience joining today, but I don't really see that. I see mainly Floridians.
Oh yeah, represent.
I know, because we're hardcore, Space Coast hardcore.
Oh, John just said Melbourne.
What's funny about that?
I just think it's funny. I didn't say like we're watching from Melbourne.
Oh.
He just said Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Thanks, John.
I think every Brevard County community is represented. We're all here.
Yeah, we have
Every
India
single
Atlantic,
one.
Satellite Beach,
Yeah.
Melbourne, West Melbourne. Do we have Palm Bay?
Yes.
Do we have Cocoa Beach?
Yes.
Did we have Titusville?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
We had Rockledge, I know
Yes.
for sure.
Everything. I'm telling you.
Did we have Vieira?
Viera, where you at? Wake up, Viera. Come on.
Titusville, Long and Cocoa. Oh, we forgot Cocoa. Yeah.
No, I saw Coco.
Okay, I know, but I
Rockledge,
didn't
Palm
say
Bay,
it.
boom, boom. Longwood, Florida, Titusville. Yeah, we got everybody but
All right,
Viera.
now who's from Vieira? Merritt Island.
You know what
Thank
it
you.
is? I don't know what it is, actually. Viera.
Palm Shores. Another Palm Bay. Nice. Oh, Brian's saying he's going to
Brian
sleep
never
now.
left.
Now
Oh,
he's
Brian.
going.
Come on. I-4 on my way home.
Please drive, not watch this.
Someone's watching from South Carolina.
Brian, we do want you to drive safely. And we really want to know if anyone from Viera is watching, because right now every single community in Brevard County is watching
What about from Mims?
except for Viera.
Also Mims.
Mims is kind of Titusville.
Well, don't tell that to the people from
I'm
Mims.
just saying. Jupiter Beach.
Wow. Anyone from Daytona Beach watching this?
I don't know.
Yes,
Yeah, he said. How do you know that?
because I saw it.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Mims,
there's a
right
Mims.
Mims!
Boom.
Oh, yeah.
Boom.
Vieira! Ryan
Ryan
Miller.
Miller.
Nice.
Hi, Ryan, you're representing Viera tonight.
Las Vegas friend, too. Wow. We got someone from the West Coast.
Very good. Well, that's easy for them. It's not late.
Well, unless this pushes into like 6
Yeah.
a.m.
Yeah.
Give them some credit.
Yeah. I'm giving everybody credit.
Vero Beach, too. Very nice. Fort Lauderdale. Wow. Trish. I used to live near Fort Lauderdale.
It's lovely. South Florida is lovely.
It is. It is.
So everybody, we are just patiently waiting for a new launch time for this launch tonight. Delta IV Heavy launch, United Launch Alliance. This is a secret payload. We don't know very many details about it. So it's really not about the payload. It's all about the awesome, powerful Delta IV Heavy 2.1 million pounds of thrust that we're going to hear and see hopefully very soon.
Hey, Chica, how many pounds of thrust?
2.1 million pounds of thrust.
That's right. No, honestly, I mean, yeah, I'm sure the satellite, the payload is cool,
I'm sure it is.
but we don't know anything about it. So definitely it's the rocket that is stealing the show tonight,
Absolutely.
this morning.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it. Oh, man, Steve is getting eaten alive. I'm sorry, Steve. Hey, Steve came from Manchester. Wow, that's awesome. But he's right now in downtown Orlando. And David is losing beauty sleep. Oh, but David, hang in there.
Yeah. I mean, we're not going to have much sleep this weekend if we have 3 launches. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you guys know this, but potentially there are 2 SpaceX launches on Sunday. So Sunday morning, they're sending another batch of Starlink satellites. And then Sunday evening, they're sending a satellite for the Argentinian Space Agency, an Earth observation satellite. So by Sunday evening, we could have 3 launches in less than 48 hours.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, we'll see if that happens.
Yeah,
though.
we'll see if it happens.
Yeah, especially because So right now, 90% go for weather. Weather's amazing for this morning's, tonight's, for ULA's launch.
Yes.
But for SpaceX, weather's iffy. Weather then comes into question. For Starlink, Sunday morning, which liftoff is currently scheduled at 10:12 a.m., weather's 50% go. And then for the Satcom at 7:14, 7:19 p.m.
Yeah. 7:18. It's actually now 7:18.
7:18 p.m. It's 40% go.
Right.
So
which is so hard to tell though, because let's remember that it was 40% go for Demo 2.
but it was 40% go for Demo 2 for the first attempt.
And the second.
No, they were 50% go.
No, it was.
And that morning
go.
they were 50% go.
It was still not good, is the point.
It wasn't good, and then it
good,
became great.
And like that turned
That
around
is true.
and it went. And that was a human launch. So
Yes.
these weather briefings are helpful, but it's also Florida, and the weather can change on a dime, as we know. So just because it's 40% go, it could still happen.
Oh, for sure, it
Yeah.
could still happen. There's been many times where it's basically thundering the entire time, and then right when it needs to lift off, just this beautiful little pocket of sun shines the rocket
It does.
and lets it lift up into the
It's
heavens.
poetic. It's poetic. Yes. Totally possible.
Following from South Lake Tahoe. Wow, Morgan, that's awesome.
Trish.
Tahoe is my dad's favorite place in the
Oh,
world.
I've never been. Everybody says it's beautiful. I know.
You lived
I
in
know.
California.
Trish, my brother works for ULA. Awesome. Well, can you find out what's going on?
Yes. Trish, let us know, please.
Technical hold. Basically, what's happening now is there is a temperature issue within a rocket compartment. That's really all we know. Let's pull up the ULA live updates here to
Okay.
see if
Jennifer Coburn asked me if I'm from New York. I am not. I'm not from New York.
she's Colombian.
I am. I'm from Colombia. Our visibility graphic shows when the Delta Heavy rocket will rise into view for spectators today. Yes.
Okay, so
Did
no,
you want me to click on
no,
that?
no update. So no update yet on the temperature issue.
Yeah. Sorry, folks. Oh, Anthony's sitting on the river with a lot of other patient people.
Oh, that's nice. That's
7
a good
a.m.
one.
in Scotland. There's our first international
Oh, okay.
person.
They're waking
Hello,
up. They're waking
Kirsty.
up over there.
Thanks so much for tuning in.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Big group of people on the river. That's a nice way to watch the launch.
Oh, for sure. That's very, very nice.
Yeah.
That's very also kind of like romantic. It's like take someone out on a date. I mean,
The
maybe not
question
2
for
a.m.
you guys is, did you just stay up this whole time, or did you go to sleep and wake up? I slept from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m.
I didn't.
You didn't.
I
So
didn't.
you've just
But I
been
slept
going.
from 1 to 3 p.m.
Yesterday. Okay.
Yes.
Right.
You too yesterday.
Right. 9 to 10 p.m.
Yeah. I slept in the middle of the day. You slept at
Kind of
night.
Right before. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Emery slept in the evening from like 6 to 8.
Okay.
Um.
I don't know if that helps. I don't know what theory is better, but
Well, I didn't really do it because I thought my theory was better. I
we've
didn't
got
have a
lots of
theory.
people. We've got some people saying they've been up since 7 a.m. Oh my goodness.
Oof.
Set my alarm, no nap.
Oof,
Yeah.
Jennifer. Oh, Gally. Yeah, we do have everyone from the Space Coast is watching.
Unfortunately, they don't tell us how long they're going to work on an issue. That's when we just kind of are in this wait mode. And this is the fun part about rocket launches. Hurry up, wait. So we just simply don't know. It's definitely taking some time, though. So they are really looking into this issue. And we have not gotten a new update.
Yeah. Right now, though, the feed from ULA looks interesting. They just show like an explosion. Emery,
Right.
can we tune into that so we can know what's going on?
Well, they're showing a historical film. So
Okay.
it's some history, which is always interesting. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Vehicle in 1958. On October 11th, 1958, America's newly formed space agency marked its inaugural launch when Thor Able boosted NASA's Pioneer 1 on a mission to the moon, and NASA's long partnership with Thor was born. NASA and the Douglas Aircraft Company began development of the fourth and longest-lasting Thor configuration in April 1959. Using a Thor first stage and a Vanguard second and third stage, Delta I lifted off on May 13, 1960 from Cape Canaveral Space Launch Complex 17. Though its first launch was not successful, the Delta team quickly pinpointed the failure. 3 months later, delivered NASA's Echo 1 communication satellite to orbit. Following Echo 1, the Delta team racked up an impressive 22 successful launches. Led by Bill Schindler, the Delta rocket earned its industry workhorse moniker for rapidly establishing itself as one of the most reliable and versatile launchers. During the 1960s, Delta launch vehicles paved the way for the burgeoning communications industry, launched America's first weather satellites, and sent probes to explore our universe. AT&T's Telstar 1, the first commercial communication satellite, launched in 1962, and in 1963, SYNCOM 2 became the world's first geosynchronous satellite. TIROS, or Television Infrared Observation Satellites, provided the National Weather Service with humans' first view of the Earth's cloud cover. In orbit around the Earth, Moon, and Sun, NASA's Explorer satellites provided us with a deeper understanding of the solar wind, cosmic rays, as well as Earth's magnetic field and radiation belts. By the end of the decade, launch vehicle modifications, including the addition of solid rocket motors and an upgraded third stage, made it possible for Delta to orbit satellites 10 times larger. The 1970s was an international decade for Delta, as the manifest included scientific and communication satellites for several countries across North America, Europe, and Asia. Perhaps the most demanding challenge of the 1970s was the launch of the Earth Imaging Earth Resources Technology Satellite, later known as Landsat. The mission for the Earth Sciences community required major changes to the Delta propulsion and guidance systems. During the 1980s, Delta continued its reliable service to the communications, weather, and Earth imaging communities. As capable as the Delta rocket proved to be, production came to a halt in the early 80s when national space policy dictated that the space shuttle be used as the U.S.'s primary launcher, signaling the end of the expendable launch vehicle. But in 1987, the Delta team picked up where they left off, and development began on a launch vehicle to support the Air Force's Global Positioning System. On February 14, 1989, Delta 184 began a new chapter in space launch history as it lifted off from Space Launch Complex 17, demonstrating an incredible feat. The Delta II had gone from development to launch in just 2 years. To accommodate the larger GPS satellites, engineers improved the Delta rocket in several ways. The fuel tanks were stretched, a new payload fairing was developed, and larger solid rocket motors were incorporated. Modifications resulted in increased performance and flexibility. By the mid-1990s, the Delta II had delivered the fully operational 24-satellite GPS constellation. And though it was developed for the Air Force, Delta again became a reliable partner to both NASA and its commercial customers. Over the course of its more than 20-year run, the Delta II has launched some of America's best-known scientific and exploration missions.
4, 3, 2, we have main engine start, 0, and liftoff of the Stardust spacecraft. Liftoff of the Delta II rocket carrying the Spirit from Earth to planet Mars.
Liftoff of the Delta II with Grail. Journey to the center of the moon.
On the commercial side, Delta II launched the Global Star and Iridium constellations, which brought satellite telephone communication to the world. Continuing its evolution to meet the growing demands of its satellite customers, the Delta team developed the more powerful Delta III. Though short-lived, the Delta III doubled the performance of the Delta II.
Ignition and liftoff of the Boeing Delta III rocket.
Stage systems looking normal. Engine burners keep burning normally, and all sections ground.
In partnership with the Air Force's evolved Expendable Launch Vehicle program, the Delta team began development of the next generation Delta rocket in the mid-1990s.
And we have liftoff of the first Boeing Delta IV rocket carrying the W5 telecommunications satellite for Eutelsat of France.
All Delta IV configurations begin with the common booster core, powered by the RS-68A main engine. The Delta IV Heavy, with its 3 common booster cores, deliver our nation's largest missions to orbit.
Liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Delta IV Heavy rocket carrying the NROL-44 mission for the National Reconnaissance Office.
Delta IV launch vehicles are produced at a 1.5 million square foot state-of-the-art facility in Decatur, Alabama. Processing and launch takes place at Space Launch Complex 37 at Cape Canaveral Air Force Station and Space Launch Complex 6 at Vandenberg Air Force Base in California.
Range safety arm light on. Affirmative. Range ready. Ready. Water system ready.
From its early beginnings as a weapon and deterrent, through its transformation into a space launch vehicle, Delta has reliably supported our nation for more than 60 years. Delta's legacy as a workhorse continues today and is a testament to the persistence, dedication, and commitment of an enterprising team that has continually evolved the Delta rocket to support a changing world.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Delta IV Heavy rocket.
Mhm.
Hey guys, we're back. We still don't have a new launch time. We don't know how long it's going to take for them to sort out this technical issue.
Yeah, basically they're definitely having a temperature issue. They have identified that it's too cold. The cryogenic propellant is causing some sort of issue in which the compartment is too cold. So they are doing an analysis. We're waiting to find out. We don't know how long that'll take, unfortunately. So we just wait.
And we have until 6:25 a.m.
We do.
to wait.
Yeah, that's how long the window is. So hang in there with us. But we're just gonna kind of hang in there and wait a little bit longer, and hopefully we're gonna have an update from them soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. But in the meantime, we're gonna leave you with the stream of the rockets. You can see that, and we will be back as soon as we have an update and more information.
This is Delta Launch Control at T-minus 4 minutes and holding. The team continues to work through a lower than expected temperature condition in one of the vehicle compartments and has not selected a new T0 at this time. No matter when we lift off within the launch window, the trajectory is fixed through payload fairing jettison. A fixed ascent profile makes the range safety analysis more straightforward because areas that are clear do not have to change if the launch times move within the launch window. Robust guidance algorithms make corrections later in the mission in order to achieve the target spacecraft orbit. These guidance algorithms account for all the mission constraints, which could be structural or thermal, for instance, how long the spacecraft spends in the sun, and adjust the duration of each of the 3 main engine burns to ensure that the spacecraft arrives where our customer wants it on time. This is Delta Launch Control at T-minus 4 minutes and holding. The team continues to work through a thermal observation in one of the vehicle compartments that does not match pre-launch predictions. And we are awaiting a new T0. Whenever we have issues like this come up, the Anomaly chief, who you will hear polled in the final countdown, will form a team comprised of ULA engineers, both here at the launch site and, if required, back at our design center in Denver, Colorado, to talk through the issue. As part of that team, the United States Space Force has engineers represented in that conversation as well. And if it's an issue that comes up and could potentially impact our spacecraft, the spacecraft team is invited to participate in that discussion also. During that discussion, the team will work through current observations and potential troubleshooting steps if required. The entire team will concur on a go-forward plan that will allow the launch to proceed or provide additional data with respect to the given condition. And once the entire team agrees, the team will either proceed with the count or proceed with troubleshooting as prescribed by the Anomaly team. Once the issue is resolved, the Anomaly chief will come to Net 1 and provide an outbrief to the launch director and the mission director and the launch conductor, indicating that the condition has been resolved and operations can proceed for launch. So we'll continue to stand by while the team talks through the thermal concern, and we'll provide updates as they are available.
Go, LD. LC, at this time, please load new target set, segment Bravo. Roger. Flight control, LC, Net 1.
This is flight control.
First step 1450. Load contingency trajectory using autofile FPCS D Delta Victor 041-002 underscore Charlie Alpha Sierra Echo underscore Bravo. And revised guidance SDLC RC is 5 Delta Charlie 8.
Roger. In work.
This is Delta Launch Control at T-minus 4 minutes and holding. As you just heard, the launch conductor gave the order after direction from the launch director to update our some of our guidance parameters. We spoke about that earlier in the feature with trajectory engineer Corey Buckingham. As we proceed through our launch window, there are certain points that we will reload new guidance parameters, ensure that we have an optimal flight to the spacecraft's target orbit.
LC flight control.
Go, flight control.
Contingency trajectory has been loaded using autofile FPCS Delta Victor 041-002-K_Bravo with a revised guidance STL-CRC of 5 Delta Charlie 8.
Roger.
This is Delta Launch Control at T-minus 4 minutes and holding. The team continues to work through the thermal issue I mentioned earlier. So while we're waiting on that, we'll take you through some additional shots of Launch Complex 37. This is a wide-angle shot. On the left-hand side of the screen, you can see the fixed umbilical tower with the 3 swing arms reaching over to the Delta IV Heavy vehicle. In the background, you'll see a flame. That is a hydrogen flare stack, so gaseous hydrogen that is basically evaporating from the liquid state gets burned off through that hydrogen flare stack. It's actually quite a bit of distance away from the launch vehicle, so even though you're on your screen, it may look very close to the launch vehicle. There's actually quite a bit of distance there. And then off to the right side of the screen is the mobile service tower I mentioned earlier. Here's a view of one of the Delta's onboard cameras. This camera is on the second stage looking down. And here's a closer view of the launch pad and the swing arms. On the opposite side of the vehicle, you can see gaseous liquid oxygen as it's escaping out the oxygen vents. At this point in the count, the liquid oxygen will be replenished as liquid oxygen evaporates into the gaseous format and comes out those vents as you see there on the first stage. This is Delta Launch Control at T-minus 4 minutes in holding. We continue to evaluate the thermal issue on the first stage of the vehicle and are standing by for a new T0. We've created a short tour of our launch locations here at Cape Canaveral in Florida. Let's take a look around.
With missions launched to every planet in the solar system, as well as critical national security, science, weather, and communication satellites, ULA has established a long-standing reputation for reliability and orbit accuracy in the space launch industry. At our launch site in Cape Canaveral, Florida, the story begins with ULA's Atlas and Delta rockets arriving on the RS rocket ship. The rocket ship is a specially designed cargo ship used to transport rockets from ULA's 1.6 million square foot production facility in Decatur, Alabama. Rocket ship is large enough to carry a complete Delta IV Heavy rocket. That's 3 boosters, a second stage, and a payload fairing. Once loaded, rocket ship departs ULA's dock and travels through the Tennessee River, then onto the Ohio and Mississippi rivers, then goes out into the Gulf of Mexico. From there, the ship travels through the Atlantic Ocean, around the southern tip of Florida, and north to Port Canaveral. Rocket ship was designed with several features to ensure successful delivery, including the ability to adjust its draft for shallow water and rudderless steering, which minimizes the need to tug. Atlas V boosters are transported from the ship to the high bay in the Atlas Spaceflight Operations Center, or ASOC, for final preparations. Delta IV boosters are moved to the Horizontal Integration Facility, or HIF, where they are mated together to form the Delta IV Heavy configuration. With final checks completed, the boosters are transported to the launch pad for Launch Vehicle on Stand, or LVOS. The 107-foot-long Atlas V boosters are brought to Space Launch Complex 41 and are hoisted into a vertical position using a crane and placed onto the Mobile Launch Platform, or MLP, in the Vertical Integration Facility, or VIF. Delta IV Heavy rockets are raised vertically by a fixed-pad erector at Space Launch Complex 37. The fixed-pad erector uses a single hydraulic piston to rotate the boosters 90 degrees inside the Mobile Service Tower, or MST. LVOS is followed by the addition of solid rocket boosters, and then the second stage. Next comes Wet Dress Rehearsal, or WDR, which is an end-to-end launch simulation, from fueling through spacecraft separation. Meanwhile, the ULA team is also working simultaneously to help the customer encapsulate their payload into the rocket's payload fairing. The encapsulated payload fairing is the final piece to be mated to the rocket. With the rocket stack complete, the spacecraft team tests all of the interfaces with the rocket and the launch pad. Once the rockets are completely assembled, final launch preps begin. For Atlas V rockets, launch countdown begins with moving the rocket from the VIF to the pad. The quarter-mile trip uses 6 components to complete the 20-minute trip. Weighing in at about 2 million pounds, the MLP supports the rocket and contains air conditioning, electrical, and commodities, while the undercarriages bear the weight of the MLP and rocket. 2 rail cars lead the move, with the payload van providing communication to the payload, while the ground van houses the ground support for the rocket. At the rear of the convoy, the portable environmental control system provides air conditioning to the payload and rocket. Finally, track mobiles provide the power to move the 3.5 million pound convoy. For Delta IV Heavy rockets, the process looks quite different. Approximately 9 hours before T0, final preparations begin as 40 hydraulic cylinders at pressures nearing 3,500 psi move the 10 million pound MST. It's first raised 8 inches and then rolled back. Delta uses a carriage transporter system, traveling at about a quarter mile per hour. It takes about 25 minutes to roll the MST to its launch position, 345 feet north of the Delta IV rocket. The Delta IV rocket stands 217 feet tall, or about 21 stories, and weighs more than 900,000 pounds fully fueled. On the day of launch, nearly 30 engineers and managers are polled for system status and readiness to proceed.
Status check to proceed with terminal count, Atlas Systems, propulsion.
This is the final status check before launch for all Atlas and Delta vehicle systems, ground systems, the spacecraft, and the U.S. Air Force Eastern Range. The vehicle system readiness poll includes electrical systems, hydraulics, pneumatics, propulsion systems, flight
Anomaly
control,
G.
and propellants.
Range coordinator. Clear to proceed. Launch director.
Launch vehicle is ready to launch.
Mission director.
This is the mission director. You have permission to launch.
Proceeding with the count.
If the rocket is ready for flight and the weather is within the launch commit criteria, then polling will be completed and the team will have given the go for launch.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There's ignition. And liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Atlas V rocket.
For a typical Atlas V flight, the main engine and solid rocket boosters ignite to lift the rocket off the pad. Shortly after liftoff, the rocket begins a pitchover to attain the proper flight path, minimizing the dynamic pressure the vehicle experiences during flight. Within the first few minutes of flight, the vehicle reaches Mach 1, the speed of sound, followed by jettison of the solid rocket boosters. About 4 minutes later, propellant levels deplete and the booster engine shuts down, followed by release of the booster stage. At various times in flight, depending on the mission, the vehicle jettisons its payload fairing. From there, the second stage will continue carrying the spacecraft towards its destination with planned engine starts and stops. Finally, Centaur will release the spacecraft in its target orbit to continue its journey.
LCN1, this is AC.
Go AC.
I'm ready to brief the concerns for the OCU temp.
Roger. LD Net 1. LD. MD Net 1.
MD.
Proceed AC.
Okay, the team did some very thorough reviews and ran some models. Based on that and our analysis, we have a conservative prediction from the models, and it generated efficient margin. Plus, looking at our flight trajectory will be mainly in sunlight, so that helps the situation as is. Our recommendation is to proceed, that we have no concerns with these current temps in the OC.
LC concurs. LD. LD concurs. MD.
MD concurs.
This is Delta Launch Control at T-minus 4 minutes and holding. As you just heard, the Anomaly Chief provided an out brief on that anomaly with concurrence from the launch conductor, launch director, and mission director. So in just a short few moments, we'd expect to be hearing a new T0 from the leadership team. So we'll stand by.
LC, LD channel 1. Go LD. LC, please coordinate a new T0 of 07:28:00 Zulu. Roger, 07:28:00 Zulu. Good copy. ALC, please set the clock for a T0 07:28:00.
Roger.
RC, LC.
RC.
Please coordinate with the range, new T0 07:28:00.
072800 Zulu in work.
This is Delta Launch Control at T-minus 4 minutes and holding. As you just heard, the launch team is now going to target a new T0 of 3:28 a.m. Eastern Time. The assistant launch conductor will reset the countdown clocks for the new T0 while the range coordinator goes to the eastern range and verifies the eastern range can support that new T0.
LC, RC 1.
Go.
Range is approved, new T0 072800.
Roger.
LC, ALC.
Go.
Countdown clock has been set for a new T0 of 0728. We're currently at L-minus 24 minutes.
Roger. All right, team, the clocks are set, and we have an approved T0 07:28:00.
This is Delta Launch Control at T-minus 4 minutes and holding. As you just heard, the new T0 has been approved, the clocks are reset, and the clocks are now counting down towards a new T0 of 3:28 a.m. Eastern Time.
L minus 23 minutes.
This is Delta Launch Control at T minus 4 minutes and holding. As you can see on your screen, this is a view from the Launch Control Center at the Delta Operations Center. The team in the LCC is responsible for the final pre-launch checkouts, fueling, and launch of the Delta IV Heavy vehicle. This is the Mission Director Center, or MDC. Within the MDC, you'll find the ULA Launch Director and the NRO Mission Director, who you just heard as they received an out brief on the anomaly we have been working and then provided direction on that new T0. Here's a view from our DOSC, the Denver Operations Support Center. These are engineers that are responsible for the design and operation of the various subsystems on the vehicle. These engineers would have been engaged in the anomaly discussions and in the analysis that you heard referenced as the anomaly chief provided the out brief on that anomaly we worked a few minutes ago.
L minus 21 minutes.
This is Delta Launch Control at T minus 4 minutes and holding. As you heard a few moments ago, the range coordinator went to the Eastern Range to request approval for a new T0. ULA collaborates with the Eastern Range to prevent launching at a time that would result in the vehicle colliding with the ISS, another satellite, or catalog space debris. Our trajectories in the launch window are provided to the Space Force for analysis prior to launch day, and we're given a report several hours before launch that indicates if launch on a given minute within the window will have the rocket or payload flying near an object with a high probability of contact. This report is called a COLA report, which is short for Collision on Launch Avoidance Report. The mission director reviews the report and lets us know if there's a particular minute that we should not target for a T0. In this case, the targeted T0 was clear. Our T0 was approved, and we are counting down toward a launch at 3:28 a.m. Eastern Time.
Go.
ULA provides the analysis used by the Eastern Range to produce stay-out zones for airline pilots and boat captains on day of launch. These stay-out zones prevent intentionally jettisoned rocket pieces from landing on airplanes and boats. The Eastern Range will produce NOTAMs, or notices to airmen, to indicate to pilots that the airspace around Cape Canaveral Air Force Station and along the launch vehicle's flight path should be avoided. In the event an aircraft enters this controlled airspace on launch day, local air traffic control will contact the aircraft and direct them out of the area. The range also produces notices to mariners to provide the same information to boaters. The U.S. Coast Guard will post these notices at local ports and boat ramps. United States Air Force, NASA, or U.S. Customs and Border Patrol aircraft or U.S. Coast Guard boats may intervene if boaters enter the controlled sea space and do not respond to attempts to communicate. This is Delta Launch Control, T-minus 4 minutes and holding.
L minus 14 minutes. Has gas, LC.
Go, LC.
Establish scan pattern 140.
Roger.
VSE, LC, net 1.
VSD on 1.
Verify base bending moment instrumentation is active and data is valid.
Verified active. Grafman placard 6 alpha for launch.
Roger, 6 alpha. OS, LC.
OS.
Set BBM active.
Roger.
Ready?
All personnel, check your mics on that one.
L minus 12.
MEQ.
Hey everybody, we're back and we are so close to launch. So the technical issues were resolved and a new launch time is at 3:28 a.m.
Yeah, we are 12 minutes to go, but
Absolutely.
let's hope it happens this
I
time.
know, we're all excited and relieved. I know everybody wants this launch to go tonight, this morning.
Yeah.
So we are ready. Just to remind everyone, this is the United Launch Alliance Delta IV Heavy rocket taking up a payload for the National Reconnaissance Office.
That's right. Super, super secret.
Super secret, top secret stuff. But the big deal here is that it's a Delta IV Heavy, 2.1 million pounds of thrust, 3
At
boosters.
liftoff, right?
At liftoff, yeah. Super exciting. It's going to be loud. It's going to be bright. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, so for those who have been up,
Hanging
with
in
us,
there.
I hope you still are because we are super close.
Yep.
And
3:28 a.m. They were able to deal with the cryogenic propellant issue causing sort of a colder temperature than they wanted. They did all their analysis and they felt that it was safe and that they were ready to move forward.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I mean, this is going to be a great launch to watch just because it's like we realize its days are numbered. We had forgotten this thing.
But here's the other thing, guys. Once this goes, Sunday, we have 2 more launches scheduled from SpaceX. Sunday morning, they're going to be doing another batch of Starlink satellites. And then Sunday evening, around 7 p.m., they're launching a satellite for the Argentinian Space Force. Agency. Sorry, we're the only ones in the Space Force. That's us, U.S. Argentinian Space Agency.
That's right.
A little tired.
Just a little bit.
Anyway, so very, very exciting. Potentially, we could have 3 launches this weekend.
In way less than 48 hours.
Yeah.
Boy, wait.
So hang in there. We'll be doing shows. We'll be following it. We'll be covering it live the whole way through the weekend.
That's right.
So we're getting very close to
T-minus 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes. So I know we've still got some folks hanging in there.
Still here waiting patiently, Lance says. Well, thank you, Lance.
What did you say? We all know this is about saving Matt Damon. It's true. True. Matt Damon is still up there.
That was a great movie.
Eating potatoes.
Yes.
With
you know what? The potatoes are yummy.
Tabasco sauce or
no,
whatever.
it was ketchup.
Ketchup,
and
yeah.
then he ran out of ketchup and he had to use salt. That was a good movie.
Oh, yeah, it was a very good movie. Okay, guys, we're going to go to the live stream now, and we are excited for this launch.
Yeah, Penny did say our video isn't synced to the audio.
Okay.
That's not good.
We'll fix that. All right, guys. Super close.
Yeah, we're 9 minutes away, so hang in there, and let's hope this baby lifts off.
We're going to go outside and watch it in person from the press site.
And then
okay, guys,
right
thanks
back.
so much.
Bye.
LC, launch on time verified.
Roger. LC, switch to the ready position. All steps are complete prior to the status check.
L minus 8 minutes.
This is Delta Mission Control at T-minus 4 minutes and holding. We remain in the built-in hold as preparation for launch continues. In a few moments, Launch Conductor Scott Barney will poll the launch team for the final go to pick up the count. 27 engineers and managers are polled for system status and readiness to proceed. This is the final status check before launch for all Delta vehicle systems, ground systems, the spacecraft, and the U.S. Air Force Eastern Range. The vehicle system readiness poll includes electrical systems, hydraulics, pneumatics, propulsion systems, flight control, and propellants. Let's listen in as Scott Barney performs the final polling of the launch team.
L-7 minutes. Status check to proceed with terminal count. First stage systems, propulsion. Go. Hydraulics.
Go.
Locks.
Go.
LH2.
Go.
Second stage systems, locks.
Go.
LH2.
Go.
Electrical systems, airborne.
Go.
Ground.
Go.
Facility.
Go.
RFFTS.
Go.
Flight control.
Go.
COM.
Go.
GCQ.
Go.
Operation support.
Go.
Pneumatics.
Go.
Umbilicals.
Go.
HASGAS.
Go.
ECS.
Go.
Red line monitor.
Go.
Quality.
Go.
Ops safety manager.
Go.
ULA safety officer.
Go.
Vehicle system engineer.
Go.
Anomaly chief.
Go.
Range coordinator.
Clear to proceed.
Launch director.
Launch vehicles ready to launch.
Mission director.
You have permission to launch.
Proceeding with the count.
L-6 minutes.
MEQ, establish swing arm lock pins pull.
Active.
Polling is complete and the launch team has given the go for launch. The countdown will resume approximately 2 minutes from now, but before it does, let's walk through the final checks we'll hear from the launch team. Delta IV's liquid oxygen and hydrogen tanks have been full for approximately a half hour and in topping mode to replenish commodities that evaporate while we perform final valve and vent system checks. Once the terminal count begins, you'll hear indications that propellant topping has halted on all Delta first and second stage tanks. The oxygen systems are secured first, followed by the hydrogen systems, and all tanks will be pressurized for flight. The vehicle will transfer from ground electrical power to its onboard batteries. Hydraulic systems are pressurized and the vehicle's ordnance systems are armed. At T-minus 60 seconds, the eastern range will provide the range green call indicating that weather conditions are acceptable. All supporting assets are ready for liftoff and the air and sea adjacent to Complex 37 and along the flight path are clear. At T-minus 30 seconds, Launch Conductor Scott Barney will conduct one final short status check to verify all systems remain go for launch.
Terminal count.
At T-minus 15 seconds, the ROFIs, or radial outward firing igniters, will light to burn off residual hydrogen around the base of the vehicle. At T-minus 7 seconds, the starboard engine will ignite, followed by the port and core engines at T-minus 5 seconds, and liftoff will occur at T0. After liftoff, you'll hear the voice of Patrick Moore with launch vehicle ascent data. This is Delta Mission Control at T-minus 4 minutes and holding. We anticipate releasing the hold in just a few moments.
T-minus 4 minutes.
The countdown clock is resumed. We've entered the terminal count.
3:55.
Go for launch.
Ground pyros enabled.
Minus 325.
Second stage lock, secure at flight level.
Second stage liquid oxygen systems are now secured and ready for flight.
Minus 307. Minus 249.
FTS internal.
CBC locked at flight pressure and flight level.
Vehicle now on internal power. First stage lock systems are secured for flight.
Minus 2 minutes.
Hydraulic pressure at 4,000. Vehicle internal.
155.
Launch sequencer start.
CBC LH2 at flight pressure and flight level.
Minus 140.
FPS launch enable.
137.
FTS armed.
T minus 90 seconds. The launch vehicle, payload, ground systems, and Eastern Range are go for launch.
Minus 120.
OCUs armed. FCS count started.
T minus 1 minute.
Engine start box go.
Rock, report range status.
Range green.
Minus 50.
Second stage LH2 secure at flight level.
Minus 30. Status check.
Go Delta.
Go NROL-44. $15.
Trophy ignition.
10.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and liftoff. And stand by. We've obviously had a hot fire abort.
And LC verifies MECO confirm.
This is Delta Launch Control. The last call from the launch conductor indicating that he has confirmed that the engines did not start. At this point, the launch team will be securing the launch vehicle, ensuring that all systems are saved.
3 seconds. Received a TISR abort.
Roger. And are you ready to reset the clock? T minus 4 and holding.
Roger, ready.
Roger. ALC reset countdown clock to T minus 4 minutes and holding.
Roger.
LC, FCS in pre-flight mode.
Roger.
Hey everybody, so that was not good, as you've all seen. Hot fire abort. In fact, we were standing outside.
Yeah, it did not lift
It was really fascinating because you saw that ignition, you saw that super bright light, and then
it went
nothing.
dark.
And immediately we knew something's wrong.
Yeah.
So we don't know what the issue is yet. Obviously, the engines just didn't go. So it's
the
just
computer
shut it down.
Shut it down, exactly.
Yeah. So it's an abort. Now, we don't know yet why. We don't know yet what the next steps are.
Yeah, that's right. They could still try and launch again since they do have another 3 hours into the window, or they could scrub.
Right.
But right now we are waiting and seeing, and that'll probably be another while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, this is not a quick and easy night launch. This is one of those ones
This
where
is an
really,
overnighter.
you're really hanging in there. This is a marathon launch. So that's
Sure.
what we're doing, and we're gonna hang in there. And we're gonna just keep waiting to hear from ULA and find out what's going on.
That's right. As soon as we know more, we'll come back on. But right now, we'll all be tuning into that stream.
Yep. So thanks everybody for hanging in there, and hopefully this is gonna happen soon.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
For sure.
Water off.
LCOSM.
Go OSM.
Sweep complete. No fires.
Roger. And USO, you can verify same.
USO verified.
Roger.
Ready.
And verify OSM concurrent safe FTS.
OSM concurs.
FTS, command FTS safe and external.
In work.
This is Delta Launch Control. As you're hearing on the net, the team is working to secure and safe the vehicle. Swing arm lock pins have been installed to ensure the swing arms will not be retracted, and all vehicle systems are being evaluated for their status. So far, all nominal calls from all of the operators relative to their systems on the ground and on the launch vehicle.
MEQ, report swing arm system secured.
Secured.
ALC on TC emergency pedal, remote cameras normal.
Normal.
PNE, configure helium supplies.
In work.
LC, flight control is ready to detaking.
Roger. LD, LC, that one.
LDL1.
LD, we had a hot fire abort at T-minus 3 seconds. We have performed our abort sequence securing. We are ready to proceed into detanking operations.
Proceed, LC.
All right, team, we're proceeding to Operation 80. And RC notify range of decision.
RC copies.
Flight control, terminate option 910 and reset 910 flags.
Roger.
And LC to 1 when able.
LC go.
Yes, sir. Prop 1. Filing state systems nominal.
Roger.
Option 910 terminated and flags reset.
Roger. And flight control re-enable MSE Adams limit monitor.
Roger, it's going to work. MSC limit monitors are enabled.
Roger. RLM LC.
RLM, go ahead.
Stop red line monitor.
Roger.
LC flight control is ready for clock to reset T plus 5 minutes and counting.
Roger. ALC adjust clock to T plus 5 minutes and start plus count.
Roger.
Pass gas LC.
LC, RLM.
Go ahead.
Go RLM.
RLM is stopped.
Roger. Has gas. Proceed to scan pattern 305.
Roger.
And MEQ, we've already established swing arm lock pins installed.
Roger.
Shut down swing arm hydraulic system.
Roger.
OSM LC.
OSM.
For step 70, drop FHA roadblocks and establish BDA roadblocks.
Roger.
OSM SRM ignition disable.
Just disabled.
SYS LC.
Go.
Establish T for PCM data transfer to nominal per data station PCM selection item.
Roger.
PNE LC.
Go for PNE.
Perform initial securing for step 70.
Roger.
MEA, LC network.
MEA, go ahead.
Yeah, can you verify FEVBS coverage remain intact?
Yes, sir. They all are intact.
All 9. I just want to repeat, all 9 are intact.
All 9 are intact.
Roger, thank you. FTS LC.
Go ahead.
Step 90, secure RF, FTS, and GPS MT.
Roger.
ABE, disable EIB heaters.
Roger.
LC, LD on channel 1.
Go LD.
LC, the MD has declared a scrub for today's operation. Please proceed with detanking operations.
Roger.
This is Delta Mission Control. It's now been confirmed that Delta 4 Heavy NROL-44 launch activities will not continue this morning, and a new date has yet to be identified. For the most up-to-date information, please visit ulalaunch.com, follow us at ULA Launch, or call 1-877-ULA-4321. This concludes this morning's coverage. I'm Dylan Rice. Thank you for joining us.
Hey guys, so that's it.
That's it. So there's a scrub. Unfortunately, it was a very dramatic scrub. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
it was.
sure.
We were standing right there. We saw the flames. We saw the ignite lit up the sky.
It sure did.
And then nothing.
Very brief.
Knew immediately there was an issue.
Yeah.
So don't know what the new launch day is going to be. It sounds like there might actually need to be some potential parts that need to be replaced. So it could be a couple days. We will certainly let you know as soon as we do know.
And we also don't know what this means for SpaceX's launches tomorrow. So definitely as soon as we have any more updates, we will let you guys know right away. But this concludes our broadcast for tonight. Thanks so much for tuning in, and obviously a bummer that
we
it couldn't lift
appreciate
off.
it. This is how it goes. This is is rocket science after all. So thanks everybody. Good night. Go get some sleep.
Yes, please.
That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye everybody.